Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a professor for social work management, and you are listening to Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture, and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners.
Welcome to Managing Around. I'm glad you are tuned into my podcast today. This time we explore a not so much known method in the social and management science. I'm Mike, and today I'd like to take you on a discovery journey into the fascinating world of phenomenography. In this episode, we'll unpack what this is, how it can be applied to social management research, and what implications it has for future studies. By the end of this short discussion, you will have a clearer understanding of this innovative research design and its potential impact on your work. Let's start with the first question today. What is phenomenography? This is a research strategy that originated in Sweden during the 1970s. It was developed to explore and categorize the different ways people perceive and experience various phenomena. Unlike phenomenology, which seeks to identify the essence of experiences shared by individuals, phenomenography focuses on the variations in how a phenomenon is understood among different people. In simple terms, phenomenography is about mapping out the range of perspectives people have on a specific topic. This approach is particularly valuable in almost every academic discipline, uncover different ways how people understand a concept, observations, or personal experience. The systematic review by Malcolm Tide, published in 2016, which I can very much recommend for further reading and which I reference in the show notes, provides an inspirational overview of this research strategy in the educational research. Let's continue with a research example. To illustrate how phenomenography works, we'll have a look at the study on academic development conducted by Gilles Ackerlind in 2005. This shows how the methodology works in a nutshell. Ackerlind interviewed 28 university academics in Australia to explore their intuitive conceptions of academic growth and development. In other words, the study attempts to identify the various ways in which these academics perceived their own professional development. This is very similar to the many studies of professional development in other disciplines and branches. Long story short, the study revealed 6 distinct categories of perceived and imagined future development, ranging from more basic interpretations, such as becoming more productive, to more complex understandings like contributing to social change through their academic work. Why this example? I think maybe the study demonstrates a core principle of the phenomenography, discovering the variation in how individuals perceive a particular phenomenon, in this case, academic growth. The insights gained from Ackerlind's study provide a more nuanced understanding of how professionals in academia approach their careers, which can then be used to improve professional development programs and support systems in the universities or higher education institutions. Phenomenography's ability to reveal different perspectives within a group is what makes it such a valuable tool for research in fields like social work management, education, leadership, and many more. Let's move on to my third question. How can we apply this research perspective to social work management research. Phenomenography can be a powerful tool in social work management research, particularly when we are interested in understanding how different stakeholders perceive a management process, policy, or outcome. This is what we usually try to investigate during a stakeholder analysis. For example, in the well-known St. Gallen management model or as part of the project plan. As Chris Madman, Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, recently said in a Forbes Advisor article, and I quote, "Part of stakeholder analysis is to do the interviews, design work, brainstorming, and then to map the results of that against your core requirements defined by the sponsors of project and see if we can build them." End of quote. For example, if you are studying the implications of new social policy, phenomenography allows you to explore the varying ways in which different groups, such as policymakers, social workers, educators, and representatives of the community that were addressed, perceive the policy's effectiveness. This approach helps to identify not just what these perceptions are, but how they differ across groups, offering insights into potential areas of misunderstanding or conflict. By applying phenomenography, we in social management research can gain a nuanced understanding of how different groups experience, adapt to, and sometimes reject changes in policy and community management, which can in the end lead to more effective interventions and strategies. As always, we'd like to end this episode with some conclusions and directions to future research. What do we learn from this research strategy? Mainly, it's this: phenomenography offers remarkable opportunities for future research in social work management. As our societies become increasingly complex, understanding the diversity of experiences and perceptions becomes crucial. Phenomenography helps researchers understand the different ways people perceive and experience the world, which is key to recognizing and valuing diversity in thought, action. And there is at least one more thing. This approach provides a framework for capturing this complexity, offering researchers a way to explore and document the variety of realities that different groups experience. In conclusion, phenomenography is not just a tool for categorizing perceptions, it's a lens through which we can view the richness of human experience. By applying this approach in social work management, we can create more inclusive and effective policy developments and management practices that take into account the diverse ways people understand and engage with the world around them.
Thank you for listening. Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture, and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners. If you liked this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast website. There's also a link in the show notes. If you've got any thoughts on this episode, or if you've got any idea about new podcast topics or questions you'd like to discuss, send me an audio file or voice note to hi@profmanagement.de. For any non-audio comments, drop a tweet or DM to @profmanagement on Twitter or Instagram, please. For more information, visit my website www.profmanagement.de. Thank you for listening and see you next time.